The richest tribe in Africa. Platinum mining and the Bafokeng in South Africa's Northwest Province, 1965 to 1999. The Bafokeng are a Setswana-speaking community long settled near present-day Rustenburg. This article focuses on their protracted legal battle with Impala Platinum in recent times to improve their royalties. It also analyses the interconnection of this struggle in the 1980s with the political consequences of Bafokeng incorporation into the apartheid homeland of Bophuthatswana under Mangope. The injustices of the Mangope era endured by the Bafokeng are detailed extensively here. Subsequent Bafokeng court action against the powerful mining conglomerates made legal history. The final outcome in 1999, very favorable to the Bafokeng, changed forever the relationship between mineral owners and holders of mining rights in South Africa. The Bafokeng fought many battles through the apartheid era and after to retain rights to their land and minerals. A landmark case in 1999 finally gave them legitimate compensation of 22% of mining company net income for minerals on their land and other benefits, 68-45. Throughout their existence, the Bafokeng maintained communal title. By careful management of mining revenue, the Bafokeng have earned the title of the richest tribe in Africa. 68. The RBN can provide a case study of successful communal title to minerals. The Bafokeng administration also continues to significantly complement the Rustenburg local municipalities, RLM, legislative obligations regarding socio-spatial development. Almost half of the RLM land, 40% or 1/400 kilometers 2, is owned by the Bafokeng people by way of modern property rights. Manson and Benga 2003. Caps 2010 provided a complex historical account of Bafokeng land acquisition, while Mock Gadel 1971 detailed the Bafokeng administration's historical land use planning processes. 4. The historic evolution and tensions of this particular corporate property form is discussed at length in chapters 4 to 6 of the author's PhD thesis, Caps 2010. 5. For an accessible account of the legal dimensions of this story, albeit told from the perspective of the Bafokeng chieftaincy and its lawyers, see Manson and Benga, 2003. For a political economy, see Chapter 7 of Caps, 2010. It forms part of the western lobe of the Bushveld Igneous Complex, which include the platiniferous ore bodies on which the Rustenburg mining industry is based. Fearnley, 2005. Rustenburg is the only large town in the study area, with several smaller towns and villages in its vicinity, such as the Royal Bafokeng villages, Manson and Benga, 2003. The sense that the Kosi and the royal family should ensure the survival of the people persists among the Bafokeng. The fact that the community is often called the richest tribe in Africa, Manson and Benga 2003, stands in contrast to the fact that about half of the community's households describe themselves as poor or very poor, RBA 2011. But rather than push for the right to claim their share of the community's wealth in cash, most Bafokeng adhere strongly to the paternalistic model by which their long-term survival and needs will be catered for by the Kosi and his administration. The area forms part of the western lobe of the Bushveld Igneous Complex, which is considered a major ore system in the world because of the associated platinum group metals, PGM, and the occurrence of chrome and some other minerals. Aquarius Platinum, 1998, cited in Stein, 2000. Fearnley, 2005. Rustenburg is the only large town in the study area, but there are some other smaller towns and villages in its vicinity, such as the Royal Bafokeng villages, Manson and Benga, 2003, Pols Howard Andolang Incorporated, 2000, cited in Stein, 2005. The area is rated as one of the fastest growing areas in South Africa because of increased urbanization and large-scale industrialization related to the mining activities taking place there. The Bafokeng administration also continues to significantly complement the Rustenburg local municipalities, RLM, legislative obligations regarding socio-spatial development. Almost half of the RLM land, 40% or 1/400 kilometers 2, is owned by the Bafokeng people by way of modern property rights. Manson and Benga 2003. Capps, 2010, provided a complex historical account of Bafokeng land acquisition, while Mock Gadel, 1971, detailed the Bafokeng administration's historical land use planning processes. For an accessible account of the legal and political dimensions of the story that follows, albeit from the perspective of the Bafokeng chieftaincy and its lawyers, see Manson and Benga, 2003. For a political economy, see Chapter 7 of Capps, 2010. Point 11. Following the democratic elections of April 1994, the homelands were formally abolished and their territories reincorporated into the new unitary South African state. For an accessible account of the legal and political dimensions of the story that follows, albeit from the perspective of the Bafokeng chieftaincy and its lawyers, see Manson and Benga, 2003. For a political economy, see Chapter 7 of Capps, 2010. Point 11. Following the democratic elections of April 1994, the homelands were formally abolished and their territories reincorporated into the new unitary South African state. Running for 15 years, with WPL holding the option to renew for 2 successive 10-year periods, the 1969 lease stipulated that the BMTA would be entitled to a royalty rate of just 10% of taxable income. 5. Moreover, as was the standard practice at the time, Manson and Benga, 2003-23, both current and future capital expenditure would be deducted from the mine's taxable income, meaning that the tribe would only receive a stipulated minimum of $2,000 per annum until WPL declared itself fully operational. In return, WPL would not only be permitted to extract as much platinum from Bapo land as it deemed profitable, and put mining on hold when it deemed not, but also have unlimited access to the lease area that is the entire Bapo territory to develop whatever surface or underground infrastructure it considered necessary or desirable to exploit and turn the properties to account. Governance roles for such traditional authorities are catered for in the South African Constitution, but their delineation is still disputed. The leaders of the Bafokeng tribe own significant stakes in a number of mines in the area, which is one of the reasons the tribe is colloquially referred to as the richest tribe in Africa. Manson and Benga, 2003. For an accessible account of the legal and political dimensions of the story that follows, albeit from the perspective of the Bafokeng chieftaincy and its lawyers, see Manson and Benga, 2003. For a political economy, see Chapter 7 of Capps, 2010. Point 11. Following the democratic elections of April 1994, the homelands were formally abolished and their territories reincorporated into the new unitary South African state. Royalty payments to indigenous communities as a part of natural resource development project have become an international norm. Manson and Benga, 2003, Scudder, 2019. Manson and Benga, 2003, Pulse Howard and DeLange Incorporated, 2000, cited in Stein, 2005. The area is rated as one of the fastest growing areas in South Africa because of increased urbanization and large-scale industrialization related to the mining activities taking place there. End map of South Africa highlighting the Northwest Province. Het is een voorbeeld van sociale ontwikkeling gebaseerd op het winnen van grondstoffen in klassiek ontwikkelingsmodel. Al is het collectief eigenaarschap van de trust innovative en was de juridisch overwinning tegen het middenbouwbedrijf en de overhead revolutionaire. 51. In the speech of the king of Bafokeng nature is not mentioned once. Though innovative in the collective ownership of the trust and in the victory against the mining company and government, it remains a classic development model based on extraction of resources. Manson and Benga, 2003. Still working within the system in the early 1980s, Boat presented lectures to business people and officers of the South African Defence Force about the experiences and perceptions of black South Africans. Raubenheimer and Kotz in 1984. but he switched to a more radical approach in the mid-1980s after his Dixie fieldwork. Boat testified in an extraordinary civil case 1, Manson and Benga 2003, in which the Bafokeng traditional leader Lebon Molat Lijai demanded compensation for defamation from Relof Kawartza, the senior Volkskundige at Pretoria University, on grounds that the latter had lowered the former's status in a supposedly authoritative account of the royal Bafokeng genealogy. Kawartza 1990. Boat helped demonstrate that Molat Lijai had been demoted as part of an attempt to prevent him from taking up his rightful position as the Bafokeng king. In the study area, as in many other rural areas, Nsabisa, 2002, a further challenge is the relationship between local government and traditional leadership. The Bafokeng tribe, which owns much of the land in the study area and receives significant royalties from the mines, is said to be the richest tribe in Africa. Manson and Benga, 2003. It has used the royalties to build infrastructure in the area, and its relative wealth is often contrasted to the financial constraints of the local government.